say you're lonely, you cry the whole night through. Well, you can cry me a river, cry me a river, like I cried a river over you. Cry me a river, cry me a river, like I cried a river over you. Well, VooTube viewers, guess what's been happening this week here? I thought I'd get on here and I thought I'd give you a weekly roundup with all the news and views and spews and gossip and, well, what's been in the papers, what's been out of the papers, what's been said, what hasn't been said, what's just been implied, what's been inferred, well, and all the machinations. And the main thing what come to mind this week was, well, do you remember about 15 years ago, there was a case what come up and it was in Britain. And I think it was under your Gordon Brown or your Tony Bleeding Blair. I think it was Gordon Bleeding Brown, to be honest. Yes, I think it's that 6 minutes that he was in power, if you could call it bleeding power. Anyway, yeah, so it was about, well, 15 or so years ago. So I'll take you back to the spring of, I think it was 2007. Anyway, there was this couple in Britain, okay. I can't mind what they were called. I think it was it Hetty and Larry? Something like that. Anyway, Hetty, she worked in Poundland. Yes, she did. She worked in your Poundland, she did, in 2007 up in your British Leicester place somewhere up north. She did, yeah. And Hetty, she was married to Larry. Now, Larry, he was a bit of a Larry Larrington, to be quite honest, VooTube. But anyway, he worked in the local chicken factory. Yes, he did. He was on the processing line making the chicken nuggets, you know, like you do. Well, I don't, but I mean, I suppose people do, like Larry did. So anyway, he was working in the chicken factory, he was making the chicken nuggets, he was happy as a bleeding Larry, you see. So anyway, Hetty, she weren't that happy at Poundland, you see. She got a bit bored of, well, just stacking shelves all day, and she wanted to get herself promoted up. So anyway, after a lot of sucking, I mean, you know, sort of machinations and smiling at the right people, she got herself on the tills and she got herself promoted. Yes, she did. And old Hetty, whatever her bleeding name was, she was as happy as a little Larry. Well, I don't know whether that's a faux pas on my bleeding verbiage there, but anyway, she was a happy little chappie. And she used to go to work in the town centre every morning. And right on her route to work, about a couple of shops away from the Poundland where she worked on the tills, you remember I just said? Yeah, there was this jewellery shop. And in the window of the jewellery shop, there was a beautiful ruby, pure ruby necklace that had diamonds round it, and it had these rubies and one thing and another, and it was made of gold and this, that and the other. And she got herself home to Larry and she said to Larry, she said, now listen up here, she said, Larry. She said, now I've been promoted, she said, I fancy getting myself a bit of posh jewellery. He said, you what? She said, yes, she said, I fancy getting myself a bit of posh jewellery because I'm up there now, I'm up there in the bleeding echelons, she said. Oh, she says, I've got my eyes set on the stars, she said. I'm going places, I am, Larry. She says, I'm on the tills in your Poundland, and it won't be long before I'm bleeding supervisor at your Poundland, Larry. She said, and I work bleeding hard 6 days a week, I'm going to save up, and I don't care who knows it, I'm going to buy myself that there ruby and diamond gold necklace what I see in the window of the jewellery shop. Oh, he said, well, he said, if you do that, he said, we won't be able to afford our fortnight of butlins, will we? She said, I don't care. She says, I don't care, we'll go camping down the new bleeding forest for all I care, she says, because I'm getting that jewellery in the bleeding jewellery shop. So anyway, week in, week out, she saved and saved, month in, month out, and eventually she had enough money and she went into the jewellery shop and she bought herself this ruby and diamond gold necklace, and she bleeding loved it. Oh, everyone used to say to her, God, you know, when she went down the working men's club on Friday night, you know, do a bit of the bingo, one thing and another going on. They used to say, oh, look at you, Hetty, they used to say. Oh, they used to say, you're going places you are, look how posh you are, with that there ruby and gold thingy, big thingy, what is it, with your diamonds that you're wearing. Yes, she said, I'm destined for higher climes. So anyway, she was happy for a while. And then one day, on the way to work, she passed by the jewellers and they only had a matching pair of ruby, diamond and gold blimmin' earrings in the bleeding window. She thought, well, she said, they're bleeding teasing me. She said, how can I not have them? She said, because they match my nice bracelet and my nice necklace. Not bracelet, because I need to change my bleeding teeth today. Necklace. So anyway, there she was off again. Larry's like, oh my God, we won't be able to afford turkey this Christmas at this rate, let alone bleeding fortnight in Butlins, Hetty, she said. He said, you're costing us a bleeding fortune. She said, I don't care. She said, I earn my money, she said, and I'm going to save up and I'm going to get them their earrings. She said, they're rubies, they've got diamonds in them, they're gold. She said, and they match nicely with my nice necklace. So eventually, she got herself these earrings. Oh, she was made up. She was absolutely made up. When she went out, she looked like a bleeding dog's dinner, she did. Yes, she did, proper posh. So anyway, a couple of years went by, and they got themselves a cheap, all-you-can, all-inclusive, all-you-can-eat, all-you-can-drink weekend in Portugal. Yes! Well, they'd never been abroad in their life. Yeah, and they went on EasyJet. I think it was a £24 return or something. Well, they thought they'd made it. Well, she said, I'm going to take my ruby bleed necklace with me. She said, I'm going to wear my nice ruby and diamond earrings, she said, and I'm going to flash myself about a bit in this Portugal place, she said, because I hear it's a bit sunny and a bit lively over there. Oh, he said, well, you want to be careful with that, he said. Old Larry said to Hetty, because he said, well, he said, you might lose them. She said, no, she said, I don't care. They're coming with me on holiday, and I'm going to bleed and wear them in the Prada bleed and luge, because that's where they bleed and well were. So it was a bit out of season, so it was a bit cheap, you know. Anyway, they went out there and they had a nice time. I think there was a few people from Poundland went with them. I think they all clubbed in together. And I think there was a couple of people from the chicken factory clubbed in as well. So they were all friends. So anyway, off they went out night after night and they partied and they had a good bleeding time, they did. And she used to leave, because she didn't want to lose it, did she? So she used to leave her ruby diamond gold necklace and the matching blimmin' ruby diamond and gold earrings in her bleeding chalet. Yes, she did. And she thought, if somebody tries to burgle, I'm not going to lock the door because, well, I can see the front door from about 80 feet away. You fit right across the, well, I don't know what it bleeding was, I don't know, some sort of like holiday camp, and where they were sat outside in some bit, I don't know, patio, I think it was a smoking area outside, you know. And she said, in the distance, she said, I had a clear view of the door, so just in case anybody goes in, I'm not going to bother locking it, she said, because we're all here and we can keep an eye on the bleeding door. So anyway, they used to go back and just check the rubies were there still and the ruby earrings were there and everything was all right every now and again. And they were there and everything went fine until the very last night when they were at this, holiday camp basically. I think it was a bit down market between me and you. I mean, it weren't up to your Butlin standard, let's put it that way. The security was a bit lax, as it all transpired. So anyway, on the last night, they'd been having a nice final meal. I think they had a bit of pasta. Oh, they were up market that night, they were. They thought, knock ourselves out, we're going home tomorrow. They had a couple of glasses of vino, and I think they had a bit of pasta. Yes, they thought, well, when in Spain, you've got to do what the Spanish people do, or whatever. It was Portugal, but I mean, Larry, you know, chicken factory, same number. So anyway, they were happy as bleeding little Larringtons they were over there, knocking back the Chablis, having a bit of bleeding posh pasta, all their mates from Poundland and the chicken farm were with them, and it was great. They thought, well, we'll knock ourselves out, because we're getting on the EasyJet and we're going back to bleeding Britain tomorrow. So every now and again they thought, well, I think Hetty was a bit pissed. Halfway through the evening, I think she was gone. But they were going back and checking, yes, the ruby necklace is still here, it's still got all its diamonds in, and there's the matching earrings, they're all both there, everything's fine. And off they go back and knock back a few more Chablis. Anyway, one thing led to another, and she's gone up there, I think it was about 10 o'clock or so, just before they called last orders, I think it was. She's gone in, and you never guess what happened, Food Two Boos. You never guess. I'm going to put you out of your misery, because it's a very sad tale. It really did. I mean, it just ruined their holiday and everything it did. She's only gone in and they were disappeared. Yeah, I mean, the earrings were there. Both the matching earrings, they were there on the bleeding table. But her ruby, diamond and gold necklace had gone. Yes, it had completely disappeared. Yes, it had. So anyway, they didn't know what to do. They went running around all the complex and everything, running around the holiday camp saying, here, excuse me, have you seen anybody with a ruby and diamond and gold bleed necklace? And everyone was pissed, you know. And they were like, no, we ain't seeing nothing, no. Oh, we saw somebody walking that way, maybe they had it. So anyway, one thing enough, about an hour or two later, they thought, we can't find that ruby, diamond and gold necklace nowhere. So what we're going to do, because, I mean, we can't talk Spanish and we can't really talk Portuguese, whatever it is they talk over in the Portugal land, right? We can't talk that, but we're going to call the police anyway. And it was lucky because I think one of the waiters in the holiday camp, I think he was Portuguese, so he could talk the lingo. So the police came and everything, and Hetty was, well, she was bawling her eyes out, and Larry was bawling his eyes out, and they were on the floor, and they were screaming, they were bleeding hysterical. Where's my ruby bleeding necklace? Someone's pinched me ruby bleeding necklace. One thing and a bleeding another. Well, so anyway, I don't know what happened after that, but they never did find it, and it caused an international outrage. And everybody was getting themselves about the place, giving their opinion. And I think Richard Branson put some money in the hat because he said, we're not having this. We're not having our British people going over there, working all hard in Poundland and earning themselves up a nice posh necklace made of emeralds with diamonds in it, and it's got gold inlaid and everything on it, and then just going over to Portugal. I mean, it's like a bleeding backward country. You can't even go over there, and you can't even take a bit of jewellery with you without somebody bleeding snaffling it. Yeah, and another thing, they said, seeing as how it's stolen off of the holiday camp's property, we might actually sue the bleeding holiday camp. So anyway, there was a local detective, I think he was a lead detective, and I think his name was Gonzales Camel, something or other like that anyway. So he said that all the evidence actually pointed to the fact that he thought it was an inside job. Yeah, he did. He thought it was an inside job because he said, they've gone out, they've left it on the table and they haven't locked the bleeding doors. And I mean, they had a back door and they had some patio doors and they had, windows and nothing was locked. So anybody could have walked in. He said, to me, it looks like it's a bleeding inside job. Yes, he did. So 15 years later, I mean, they're still denying it and they're still saying, no, somebody went in our chalet and they pinched me ruby bleeding necklace because it was that precious. We just thought we'd leave it in there. Well, it's okay because we could just go back every now and again and check on it and it'd be absolutely fine and secure in there. And Goncalo Gonzales, or whatever his plain name is, Gonzales, the lead detective Camel, right? He turned around and said, no, he said, I think they are I think they're actually involved in it. I think it's some sort of inside job. Well, Hetty and Larry Mcgann, they come back to Britain, they did, and they've been taking him up to the High Court. Yes, they've took him to every bleeding court in Europe, they have. Yes, they have. And I think they went to the human court of something or other in your Brussels sprout place over in your Belgium. And then anyway, this week it's come out that they can't sue him and he was totally within his remit as a lead detective to follow the evidence as it was and to say, actually, I do think they were complicit in this disappearance of this here emerald, diamond and gold necklace. Because he said they left the bloody earrings, didn't they? You see? So, and I mean, that was his job because he was a detective. I think he'd been a detective. He'd been detecting stuff all his life. And usually he detected it. And, well, usually he got it right. So anyway, Hetty and Larry, they ain't happy bleeding. Well, they're just not little happy campers, are they, voodoo furs? So that's what's gone on this week. And of course, it's caused an outrage and all the middle class media are all, well, they're saying it's absolutely disgusting. They're saying, how dare Hetty and Larry Mcgann not get their ruby, diamond and gold necklace back, what they just left on the table in an unlocked chalet in an holiday camp while they're knocking back the Chablis in the Portugal place over in the Portuguese land. Because that's middle classes for you, isn't it? So there you go. I mean, they just sit there and talk a load of shit, don't they, really? So I thought I'd hallucinate you on that one. And I mean, nobody ever did find that emerald, diamond and gold necklace, you know? It's really weird. It really is. So maybe Larry just took it down the old hop shop. Do you know what I mean? He might have hopped it. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, would you? Would you do that? I don't know. Especially because he thought to himself, well, I'm working in a bleeding chicken factory and old Hetty's over there in Poundland thinking shit, her shit don't stink because now she's super bleeding visor and she's going places. Well, and I think I'm going to hock it because I want to buy myself a nice, well, I want to buy myself a new car. Maybe that's what happened. We just don't know, do we? But did it disappear? Did it fly out the window? We don't know. It's one of the great unsolved mysteries of the world, it is, Voodoo. So anyway, I hope that sort of expounded you and hallucinated you and, well, maybe educated you on some of the finer points of human nature. Who can tell, Voodoo? Anyway, bye. Oh, it's not going to go off, is it, Voodoo? Blooming thing, oh dear. Never mind.